Yo, it's the Native Dev here again, and in the last video we went over how to clone down a repo onto our local machine so that we can start working in it in different editors rather than having to go here into test file and then edit it here inside the browser. Now that we're able to work with other text editors and other IDEs locally, I want to show you one command that you should run, or at least know, before you try to save or commit any work that you do in Git. And to start, let's go ahead and just take a look at what that command is. So if you type in your terminal, and if you remember right here, it shows that we are at the root again. We talked about this in the last video, and we want to be here in test repo. So let's just first start off by navigating to the correct directory, and we talked about this in the last video. It's CD for change directory, and if you remember, all we have to do is click and drag this guy up here. It gives us the full path, and then we can hit return. And now we're not in the root anymore. You can see that now we're in test repo, which is where we want to be. And to verify, you can even type in ls, which will list everything that's in the directory where you're at, and you can see that this is correct. README, the test file, and the tic-tac-toe board. So with that, let's go ahead and learn this new command, and the command is git status. And what git status is going to do is going to tell us kind of where our repo stands in comparison with what's here in the origin or the remote repo, where everyone is able to see the work and share it. So what we're going to see here, the first thing that we learn is that we're on branch main, and that's important to know which branch we're on, but we're not going to talk about it too much today. We're going to talk about branching strategies in later videos. What's important here is that your branch is up to date with origin main. At least this is important for today. Because now we know what that's telling us is that there's nothing changed here, so nobody on our team has made any changes to the remote repo that we don't have locally. So everything we see here already exists here. And then what this next part tells us is nothing to commit, working tree is clean. That tells us that everything we have locally also exists here in the origin or the remote. So that means we haven't made any changes that don't exist for everyone else to see. And if for a working demo, we can open this up. This is just in TextEdit. So just a basic text editor, and we'll learn more about others later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this file, and I'm just going to say hello test file, and I'm going to put a period, and then I'm going to put a new line here. And I'm just going to say something like, we edited this locally. How cool. Okay. And I'm going to save that. And now we're going to see this git status command in action. And just as a tip, I'm just pushing up on my keyboard. And you can do that as many times as you want to scroll through things. I'm going to go back down, hit up one more time again. And that just goes through your the terminal history. So instead of having to type git status again, I can just type up one time and then hit return. Now we're going to see that most of this stuff is the same. We're on branch main still. We didn't change our branch. Our branch is still up to date with origin, which means we didn't make any changes here that we don't have here. But we do see something new here, which is the changes are not staged for commit. And what I'm going to point out for you today is that modified test file. So this command is telling us that the test file was changed. And that's true. We changed it here. And that's where we're going to stop for this video. In the next video, we're going to learn how to find out, now that we know what changed, we're going to find out how the file changed.